Welcome, goddesses. Ah, happy Wednesday, Chelsea. So good to see you. Hi, look at you in all of your pink. So pretty. Oh, gorgeous. Mooney, Sandra. Nick, yay, Aggie, you made it. Okay, let's open with some brags. And since we are doing like sexy selling, if you want them to be like business brags,
Als
but
Mieter sich selber ein
they don't have to be.
Dings buchen muss.
Can be any brag. Are we still in a brags or stretch? Kaya.
Um, I brag that there's this guy that I met last summer, but I was in a relationship, so obviously couldn't take the flirting too far, but there was this really the sexual chemistry was there and I bumped into him and we've been hanging out and he like everything that I was really yearning for in my previous relationship, like the sex wise is kind of like he's just meeting those needs and I'm like, God, I feel no urgency or like desire to get into a relationship with you. I kind of just want to like fuck and he cooks for me. He buys me like he bought my groceries, he bought my gas for me the other day and he just like he said to me word for word when we were hiking the other day, he said, "I'm just here to be of service." I went, "Ah, that's so hot. That is so hot." So I just have this masculine man who's just here for when I want him, and he's so okay with it, and he just wants to provide for me, which is like I've never experienced before, and it's hot.
So hot. So hot when a man is like, he knows his masculine role.
He really does, and he steps up to the plate so well.
uh,
So well.
Look what you called in. And this is why we start with brags before we talk about business, because this changes like the whole, I mean, I know we're not really a boardroom, but like let's pretend for a second, it changes the energy that we bring in. Okay, who else has a brag? Sandra.
I didn't really want to go after that one. That one was so good, Kaya. Like, I don't want to follow that. That was awesome. Well, my brag is that I actually met with Caitlin, the because you paired us as pleasure sister goddesses. And what we did was we listened to your 14-minute audio together. And
Oh,
it was so incredible and healing for both of us to do that together. It was an amazing way to start our morning. And it was kind of funny because Caitlin was like, yeah, just anytime you want to do this. It was such an odd thing to do, but it was actually like both of us just felt so rejuvenated and yeah, it was really soothing and healing and a really neat way to connect. So,
love it. That was the guided, I see.
yes, the 14-minute guided one. Yeah.
So good. So good. Okay. Well, that's hot. I don't know. That was a great one to follow. Chelsea.
All right, I'm going to brag that I have really stepped up to holding space for different groups.
Mhm.
Um, I'm in the Vita coaching cohort, and I had the desire there was a girl that was leading some practice calls, but she was only leading them through like module 7, and we had 12 modules, and then she was done. And so I had kind of told myself, like, oh, if someone, and hers were super early, like East Coast time, and I'm in Central time. I was like, well, because some people had expressed wanting West Coast time. And so I was like, all right, if one more person says it, then I'm going to step up and offer my Zoom and to hold the space. And sure enough, like it happened. And so I did. I stepped up and I said, yeah, I'll do that. And then I scheduled them out and I've been showing up every day for these. And that's been really amazing. And then I also hold space for like our own like personal groups and yeah, sending emails to the group, trying to get them all involved and talking and showing up. And so, yeah, just really being more of an organizer and stepping more into leadership roles.
Juicy brag. Sounds like so many leadership roles. Yes. I also love how you were like, okay, if one more person does, like what a juicy little manifestation you did there, right? Oh, right, of course there was. And then you gave yourself the commitment to it. So good. Okay, well, today's practice is going to be a little, I mean, it's definitely in the leadership realm. So 2 weeks ago on this call, we did this like hesitation audit. So we opened around selling and we were just looking at like what are some of your common hesitations for selling. And we went over so to be able to catch ourselves, because sometimes we don't know that these things are um, happening under the surface. So we talked about we focused on 4 different hesitation types. One, which was when we soften the price. 2, when we're over explaining the offer. 3 was avoiding the close. So it's like we sell it and then we don't actually be like, and does this sound like something you want? And then the 4th was not knowing how to handle objections or buyer pushback. So we went through and did a hesitation audit. I think there was a lot of learning for everyone of some of the things that they are doing. And so today we're going to come back in off of what we learned from that one. Also, if you weren't here, not a big deal. That's fine. You might want to go back and watch that one. But today we're going to actually play around with role playing how we can turn on our selling, because if you are a business owner here and an entrepreneur, like it doesn't sell itself. So this is something we want to get good at. So we're going to go through and what we're going to do is I'll actually share some things on how to, like, if you can think of someone perhaps that you want to be selling to right now, but we're actually going to kind of go through and like craft the offer, like the thing that you would offer them, and just do a little bit of crafting around that. Then we'll actually play. So if there's anyone who wants to actually demo, here's my sale. So myself or someone else can pretend to be the person you're selling to. Actually, we might go into breakout rooms and do that. And then we'll do some role plays on the, like in a hot seat fashion so that you can sell, and then we'll kind of workshop it. That's gonna be really fun. Okay, so let's start with how do we get ourselves set up for a really juicy offer? So I've kind of just pulled out 5 things that I think we kind of want to be thinking about when we are getting ready to put an offer out to someone, whether it's an offer to the public or to a specific person. So like if you're messaging someone in their DMs. So the 5 things that we're going to look at is you want to know your why behind the program. The reason that this is so important is because this is where your conviction lies. And your conviction behind the program and why you think that it is so incredible and why you want to be offering it to others is going to be a huge part of what is going to allow these others to feel you and want to say yes to you. So we're going to look at the why, and also have you thinking about who is a real person that you want to sell to. So whether it is like an avatar in general, like your ideal client frame, or whether it is actually a person that you were like dying to invite into one-to-one or a program. And then we're going to look at how you are currently selling, right? And this will give us reveal into your, it's kind of the audit. Is it clear? Are you confident? Is there conviction that drops? And then we will look at the gap analysis, and if there is something that is hiding that wants to be in this invitation. And then the fifth part is rewriting the sale so that it is clean, that it is embodied, and that it is clear to that person that you want to be selling to that, yes, oh my God, this is something for me. So it might be good to have a journal or like your notes app somewhere before we go into this, because I definitely do want you writing. Hey, Lori. So we're just going in. We're going to do a little sexy selling role play. And so the first part that we're going to drop into is the why section. So hang on, let me share a couple of these questions that you could journal on. Okay, so oops, that's not the chat. There are currently no, oh, I don't want to send it to the waiting room. Everyone, here we go. Okay, so the first question is, why did you create the program? So feel into how it came to you. What were you doing? Were you in your own ritual? Was it something that you have done and that is like taking you from one place to another? So why did you create this program? What changes when someone goes through it? And you could also look at yourself because it's probably something you've walked yourself through. So what has changed as a result of doing this work? What do you believe they need that they are not getting elsewhere? And why is this worth selling with real conviction? This was fun. I did this with a client yesterday, and it's really fun to start to like tap into the conviction piece. Yeah, Lori, or Lee, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to play? I would still play with it because you are going to be selling. You will be. I would stay and do it. And it'll be good when we start doing role play. Yeah, I would still stay. It's going to be valuable. So I'm going to put some music on and then just give everyone a few moments to play around with this. And if you don't have a program that you're selling, like do it for like one that's sitting in your back pocket. That's the other thing I would say. Like think of like your dream program that you were like dying, or it could be a retreat that you're dying to do and you offer. And with the conviction piece, like think about like what really gets you excited. You know, like this is where you want to bring like the kinky part of kinky business in, is like letting yourself think about like what actually turns you on. Because if you are going to go and sell something to someone, they're going to feel your turn on is infectious. So feeling into that when you get to that part. Great. So we have got that first part. So now that you're feeling it, your why, we're going to switch now over to the client. I'm gonna share some questions for that one also. Okay, so now as you think, okay, here's the offer that you've got. This is the little beautiful genius baby you want to bring out into the world. And now you're feeling into who you want to be receiving it, who you want there in the room with. So this is a lot of things. Who would it be in your pleasure to be surrounded by? Plus, who do you feel like is looking for this offer? And this can also be valuable to just do like self-study as you're going through some of this, because it's just a version. These women will be a version of you from the past, right? Like you have done something that has taken you to the place that you are now, that you have this program that you are offering. So what do you know about that past version of you who needed that? So think of one woman you can picture working with right now. So thinking about one person, or it could be a group of people. Like I said, it could be like an overall avatar. I think it's helpful if you can think of one person, because then you can start to kind of think of like, oh, this is what I would be saying to her when we get to that part. But what is she struggling with? What is she actually wanting to buy, really? And what does she need to hear from you to be able to feel safe saying yes? So I will put music on and go into that one.
vois des bulles d'air qui dansent. Dans tes yeux bleus, je plonge dans une mer pleine d'êtres. Je cours, je me laisse conduire. Je vois des bulles d'air qui dansent. Ensemble, on flotte vers la surface. Et je me vois dans toi. Je me vois dans toi.
Hey, perfect. Okay, so that should be feeling good. Having an idea of what it is that you want to sell and why you want to sell it. And having an idea of who you are selling to, and why they want it. And so now is where we kind of get to play around with your selling. So, and here just, I probably won't take us into this. We can actually, this would be, I think maybe we'll chat about this. So when you think about your current offer, we want to look at how you were introducing the offer. This always surprises me when I'm working with clients. I had a one-to-one yesterday and she said like, well, how should I like, she said, how do you even like get into the place where you can make the offer? And it's like, you just make it. Like you just, it's like you just introduce it. But that's that's a real thing, right? Because also her concern there would be wanting it to feel, and you do want it to feel authentic and genuine, but that's the way in. So looking at how you're introducing the offer so it doesn't feel icky and like it's a cold sale, because what we are doing and talking about today is sacred selling. And the other thing that I hold behind sacred selling is the thing to just remember is your offer is only ever an invitation. right? You're not trying to convince them. You're not pushing anything on them. Your introduction that you're giving them about an offer is an invitation that they can say yes to, yay, that they can say no to, or that they could have questions around. But it's only ever an invitation. So there's nothing to be feeling like icky about when it comes to selling when you know it's just an invitation. It's like you would invite your friend to coffee, right? Like there's nothing bad about an invitation. The second thing is, what are you saying when you invite them in? So, like, what is the actual wording and language that you're using? Again, if there is hesitation or resistance, it can start to sound kind of choked and forced and cold if there is hesitation that's still there for you around the selling. Or if you don't feel clean on it, they will feel that. So that leads to the next question. Where do you feel yourself getting hesitant? So if you still have those, definitely go back and listen to the hesitation audit again. And what objections are there that you are avoiding naming? I personally, I love objections because like objections are where I feel like objections give you an in to having like the real conversation with your client. So if you can turn on objections and get excited about it, I think that's such a good place to be. So if anyone wants to just unmute and just share about like if you want to share about, you could literally introduce an offer that you have right now. Or if you have anything that you want to speak into, like, are there hesitations that come up for you? Are there patterns or limited beliefs around selling that you're still carrying? We can take a second to just look at those. I think that's so valuable.
I have a
Jane?
question.
Yeah.
I've been circling this with a client. And so maybe I think part of it is I need different thinking. Like I keep thinking in the same way. So this could be helpful. But it's basically a client who wants to have a monthly engagement with me, actually a weekly engagement with me. And so they wanted sharpened pricing from what I've offered them in the past in exchange for, it's going to happen more often. And so I created a little offer for them, sent it over. They loved everything about it because it gave them everything that they wanted, except they did not want to prepay. And for me, that's the exchange. If you're going to get sharpened pricing, we're not paying, each week, you're paying at the top of the month for the entire month.
Yeah.
They can't get past this.
I had this with a lawyer once, a client who was an
Okay, because I
ex-lawyer.
am just
And
for me, I am just like, that's the exchange. This is how we understand that I'm getting what I need, you're getting what you need. It's a negotiation. Everyone is getting everything. And they're just like, no, because of things that have happened in the past, I am like too gun shy that something is going to happen and they're going to lose their money.
right. Okay. So
I don't know.
Yeah. So that one is how do you make them feel? So they've been working with you.
They have, and they have had issues where things have cost them money because of how they've acted, meaning, right. Yes. Thank you for how they've showed up. And it's been within the agreement. They don't see it that way. They see it as they've been punished and they don't want to engage in something that's going to punish them, which is not how I work. I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with me. This is their thinking, which is part of what's difficult for me to address.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is the part there, like, what do they need to know to feel safe making that commitment? And this is like one of the things that is so frustrating as a business owner is, like, as much as we want to like drill it in and be like, we can't explain business to a client, unfortunately. Right. So that is the tricky part because there's this part of you that wants to be like, listen, I mean, the more that you can meet them where they're at and say, I understand why this doesn't feel safe for you, but this is, I'm offering you a privileged access point And this, sometimes you just have to say, this is the deal. If you want sessions with me, if you want the work and you want it at that price point, this is the package. And the reason that you're getting it is because you are making this extended commitment with me, which
Yeah.
means you have to make the financial payment and say, I will, I mean, what I would do is I would say, I will send you the, like, my contract with like my list of expectations. So what happens if you show up late or miss a call? Because if my clients miss a call, they will still get charged for it unless they've given me 24 hours notice. They have one get free date
Yeah.
with that. And then all the other things, like I expect you to show up on time. If you're 15 minutes late, I'm not going to give you 15 minutes extra at the end. Like, just give them, here are the things that are going to be expected of you so they know what to be responsible for. And then the decision is up to them, and they might not be the ideal client. But I think also the more that you give, say, here is the offer. That's why you're getting this price point. If you want to do it that way, here's the price point for that. If you want to do it
Yeah.
session by session. Lee's also put down a good suggestion. I just had a client who did that. She was kind of the same. She had fear from past commitments that, she was thinking it, well, what if I don't get out of it what I want? And so I did say, okay, well, I mean, you're still going to have to commit to the 6 months, but if you want to do a 2-part payment plan, and that's worked well because I just knew, I mean, my conviction was, I know you're going to love this container. I just needed to hold her to get it into it. So, I mean, I do think part of this is they might not be the ideal client. And I know the
That's
ego
it.
comes in and wants to
But
like batter them over the head so they get it. But
I mean, they get it, and I have no problem explaining business to a client, especially my level of clients who are in business themselves. Like, so I
Mhm.
think that ultimately I've done all that, and I've been very clear about, presenting it and why things are the way they are, but in like a loving and trusting sort of way. I think ultimately, if that person can't get over, because how I see it is that they don't trust themselves to show up to be accountable. It doesn't have anything to do with me. They're putting it on me that, oh, these things and blah, blah, blah. But ultimately, all I can see is this person does not trust themselves to be
Yeah.
accountable to what they agree to. And because of their level of wealth, everyone lets them out of everything. And I do not.
Yeah.
And
And
so I
you can
think ultimately,
own that in your conviction of, listen, this is, and you could say that, give them, I personally like tough coaching. I want to be called on my shit. I think, when we are CEOs and we're the ones who are making the calls all the time, like that's part of the value of having a coach, especially if this is someone who's wealthy, like they're used to getting out of it all the time. So be that person who doms them a little bit and just come back. So there's 2 points. How can you make him feel, or her, I think you said a man.
dude,
Okay. So how can you make him feel safe? And how can you own your conviction and saying, I think you're scared of, holding yourself to accountability, and I'm not going to let you slide. That's why I'm asking you to commit to this, because if you slide, you're not going to get the benefit of the coaching that you're asking to commit to.
yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's helpful.
Yeah. Juicy. Chelsea.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I love that reply. I am holding you accountable because if you slide, you're not going to get the benefit of this coaching. Fucking golden. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, my issue is so I host, I just started doing new moon and full moon circles. Up until March, I was just doing in-person full moon circles, but I just started doing online virtual new moon circles. And with that, I do a full somatic breathwork journey. And so, like, really, my block is putting it out there, like, not like feeling like I'm annoying, like seeing it as like, oh, I'm taking, and I think it comes back to like the taking up space. And I know, like, whenever we were doing the journaling, that was really helpful to write those out of like why I'm offering it to people and that it is an offering. Um, but yeah, I guess it's like, especially being in some of the communities where, yeah, like it feels great to offer it in the certain container of, here's the promotions container or here's this thing,
Mm.
where people are asking to like be notified. But I think that sometimes otherwise I feel really like, oh, I'm invading like a personal space almost to offer it. But I receive such good feedback. And then the people that do come are like, oh my gosh, please keep telling us about it, keep putting it here. But it's like the
Mm.
whole feeling like, ugh.
Yeah. So this is good because this is like, again, so if that's your hesitation of like, ooh, I'm going to be bothering people. Also, I think I have a good worksheet for shifting limiting beliefs. I might pull that up and send it your way. Um, you think that you're going to bother people. So this is huge to get over, right? Because you're going to be selling and you probably want to sell to a lot of people. So that like you're going to have to shift this one because you're going to have to make some noise so people know that they've got to be coming to Chelsea. One of the things that I always sit with this is because I hate talking head reels and I've been holding myself to doing more of them on my page. And I want to throw up every time I click because I'm like, ugh, I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm here all the time. Obviously, I'm not like camera shy, but I just have, it's, similar to yours, I think. And also this is like that good girl part of us. Well, I don't want to bother people, right? So it's like where we get to like pull on our sexy fishnets and go do the damn thing. Um, but one thing of this of like, because the alternative is I'm going to play small and I'm not going to put my voice out there, which I know you're not going to do. That's not going to cut it. Um, but I always tell myself there are people out there who are praying and it's not just for me. This is true for all of you. There are people who are out there who are praying right now in the pit, so fucking deep, feeling alone, feeling hopeless, wondering what the fuck am I supposed to be doing right now? I'm so disconnected. And they're praying for someone like you, praying for someone to bring in magic of like being able to step into a container and go through a luscious new moon, full moon ritual. There are literally people at home going, oh my God, I love the moon so much. I love astrology so much. I wish that there was a group that I could go to. Like there are people who are not connected who are praying for that. So if you don't put yourself out there, those people are going to continue suffering because they're never going to see you. Right? Like you have to put yourself out there so these people can find you. And also you have an algorithm that is working with you to get those people to you. So,
Oh, that's a good way to think of it. Oh my gosh, I've never even put like that spin on it, that the algorithm is working with you to get the people to you. Because it's always like, oh, I have to like figure out the algorithm or I have to, trick the algorithm or
yeah, no.
like there's a lot of people that I've heard that.
Yeah, and no, it will connect you, right? There's people who are like on their phones doing the stupid scrolling, being like, teach me everything about astrology or moon cycles. And then it's gonna like catch you talking about full moon and new moon rituals. Like that's how the algorithm connects people.
Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And there was another part to that, getting yourself out there. And it's gone. So maybe it's not relevant for this timeline. It'll probably come back to me in 5 minutes. Um, yeah, so I would play with that. And in terms of selling in the groups, oh, what I was going to say was there will always be people who aren't going to there will be like, another person talking about a full moon ritual, which is fine because they're not your people. So, and I also always trust this because I have the same, like I go into like a lot of containers and I think, oh God, they're going to be like, here's Meg promoting something again. But there's always people who want it. And I also feel like we're all sovereign. And again, it's just an invitation. And so if some people don't want to accept the invitation, then that's fine. I trust that they are going to be like not relevant to me and they can go on. And if they want to be like those type of people who want to whine about it, like even better. I don't want people who are going to complain about me sharing something that could completely change someone's life. Like, if you want to be the person who complains about someone sharing that, then I don't want them in my circle. Right? You care about the people who were showing up and who were like, praising you and asking for more. But you won't get those people if you aren't putting it out in those places. So it's like, it's where we look for proof, right? We get what we're looking for proof for. So if you focus on proof that this is of service to people, they love it, they want more of it, then you will just keep showing up for that so that you keep getting more proof of that. You could focus on people who are whining and complaining because there's more advertising in their spaces or whatever. And you will get proof that there are whiny, complaining people who don't like advertising. And also, like, why the fuck are they in those spaces? They can leave. So, but yeah, this is just, I think this is more so the mindset shift that has to happen before you go into, like, you want to get clean on that before you go sell. Cause that's the thing, that hesitation is like the energy that will mess with making the offer. So hope there's some golden nuggets to take with you from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Kaya.
Mine was about like showing up even when I'm feeling like not turned on and showing up for my rituals and showing up for my practices and still being like, ooh, I feel like, I don't know, there's always a bajillion things going on, whether it's like, oh, I'm about to get my period, or like the full moon is like, when there's just those things that are happening where you're like, oh, and I'm in this wave now and like I can turn on through this wave and still like the mind feels foggy and like there's not as much like mm, power behind the sale. Like it's like, oh, I don't feel excited to talk about this. Like I don't feel excited to sell it to someone. I actually feel really tired and I don't want to, it feels too forced. Like I'm trying to pull it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I think
I
you spoke
personally,
on Instagram a little bit about it as well.
did I?
Like in a recent one where you were like, I wasn't feeling good, but I still magnetized a bunch of money.
Oh yeah, this was
Yeah.
like a huge learning. I'm like, oh shoot, we can proof that you can sell even when you're feeling crunchy.
Mhm.
But also I did reach for my pleasure. Like I did get turned on. And actually those weren't from sales. One
Mhm.
was a surprise. I was attracting abundance. One was a giant tax refund that I was not expecting. And then two others were just clients' payments that were like all, so it wasn't really sales, but it was just proof that you can attract abundance even if you're crunchy. But I reason to say it was because I reached for pleasure. And not to say like I still was selling during that time because I still have Italy that I'm calling a couple more babes into. So I still was showing up from selling. What I do really like for me personally, because I feel like what turns me on is authentic selling. So if I don't feel turned on and excited for selling in the moment of like, oh, I don't want to send this message right now, then I'm not going to. Like I do think there is divine time. Like we have to trust divine timing because the goddess also like, there is that entity beyond us that knows exactly the outcome that's coming. It knows all the people who are going to come into our lives and say yes to X, Y, and Z. And so I do think that there is something we get to trust in the divine alignment And also like that frequency of when we reach out. Like there were two things that I was supposed to reach out to. Yes. Well, they were sitting with me for a couple days because I had hesitation. I didn't feel turned on. And so I sat with it for a couple days. And then yesterday just had like a rush of like, I feel good about this right now. And so I thought, okay, I feel good about this right now. There's my window. I know exactly what I want to say to them. And so I'm going to go do that now. And so I do think it's like waiting for the window. Like, and for me, it's like very intuitive, like it kind of just hits.
Bless you.
It just hits when I know, oh, because I just feel like, I know who maybe all of the people that are on my list. Kaya knows, I think a few of you know. So just from some of the master classes I've done, but like when I am selling, I always have a list of like who would be the people that I like just desire, like who would I love to be surrounded by. So it's like I just have awareness. It's like I'm constantly praying, like please goddess, may you connect me and this person. And so if there's like something like sometimes, yesterday, just someone came through my mind that I hadn't thought of for years. She did a container with me like 3 years ago, and she was so juicy and hot. And I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, thank you, goddess, for like bringing her to me. And I picked up my phone and sent her a message. And just from that, like, I was like, I was just thinking about how luscious it was to get to be in space with you when we did X program. I know this is like totally out of the blue, last minute and on a whim, but I just thought of you. And I don't, if you're thinking of traveling or would like, just like a fresh reset and would love to do it in Italy with a group of really juicy babes, I'd love for you to come and join us. And so it felt authentic. Like there wasn't any weight of like, I've got to do this. It was like, this is how it came to me. And I'm just going to let it move through me, and I'm going to put it in our chat and see what happens. And it's just like any other sale, right? Anytime you reach out in a DM, someone can respond and they'll say no, they'll ask questions, they'll say yes, or they might not respond. So it's just like, send it, but don't push yourself. Yeah, you can wait until you feel that window of like, oh, it's like you catch a breath and you're like, oh, great. Now there's my capacity. I'm going to take action. But it's knowing also, right? Like the goddess has this outcome that's lined up for you that she knows about. You know that there's an outcome you want because there's a desire you have. And we can't, it's equal parts of like waiting and getting into your turn on, which is your feminine, but also equal parts of like also paying attention to your masculine and knowing when to take action. Like that is how manifestation works. You've got to have the balance of the masculine, feminine. Mooney.
I'm finding all these questions so helpful. And just to pull out a specific piece of something that you just said, in the scenario where you don't get a response at all, that's where I have the most trouble not falling into what Chelsea is talking about like, they must hate me. They must not want to hear about this ever again. I must be annoying them, whatever. Maybe those aren't your exact thoughts, Chelsea. Those are mine. But but I mean, even in life, like when if someone says yes or no or asks questions or whatever, there's something, and I'm not filling that empty space with my own projection. So I'm curious how you deal with that.
Yeah, that's where we are responsible for our work, right? And this will happen because this is like kind of the same scenario of like even when we have a client, and then it's like sometimes like your client will do something to trigger you. And it's like, it's our responsibility to hold our shit together and not bring that, right? Like the container is about them. And the same thing with selling. Like the selling is as much as you want them, like there's something you want them to come into this experience with you. Um, and not because you want a sale, but probably because you want to be able to like filter this magic into the world, through the people that you're hoping will want to be there. And so that's, yeah, where it's our responsibility to do the work. That was like, yeah, like what I said to Chelsea of, okay, now you have this awareness that there's this belief running, right? So it's like Chelsea's responsibility to also now clean things up around that belief so that it doesn't run her. So that belief that, oh, people, oh, they're not responding. So like, oh, but they're going to hate me now. Oh my God, I'm bothering them. Yeah. How do you then get to go do a spring clean, get to go do a swamp, get on your hands and knees and have your pity party? So that you give yourself permission to like feel the things that you're feeling, because that, and honestly, that's the type of thing is like when you go and do that and drop onto your knees and give yourself the pity party and be like, why the fuck does nobody, like, why am I being ghosted? Nobody wants to fucking even answer me. But then you'll go back after and there'll be a response, right? It's like giving yourself space to do your work is the thing that can like shift the matrix in your favor. And will also be helpful so that you don't go message them and be like, oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, did you feel like, like where you bring the shit literally into the container and say something that then makes it messy. So what's the work that you have to do? Because honestly, I mean, I've had the same feelings, but I'm also thinking of it right now. Like, I send out so many messages and so many people ghosted, like there's for sure at least like 5 people right now that I have messages that just, no response to. And it's again, the proof thing, like putting your energy on, I mean, for one, you 100% want to put the energy on the people who are getting back to you. And really them ghosting you, if it's triggering that for you, like they're being a gift for you to get to go and pull whatever golden nuggets you need. And that's the shit that I love to use for content. That's again, to get turned on about objections. Like this person totally ghosted me. Great. Every other leader out there who's selling things has that same experience. So what content can you go post about what you've just learned about being ghosted? Right? And how does that become something that you get to share with your community? That's gold. That's all of my Italy content is from objections that I've gotten from women. And it's also the stuff that's getting people reaching out to me going, oh my God, I want to be there so badly. So I would say more so 100%. It's just like where you get to go. That's where we are responsible for holding ourselves. Where do you dive into the toolkit? And where do you get to turn on while you're doing that? Like my turn on, like last week when I was in like my gremlin crusty crunchy misery mode, like I went and I did my tantrums and I swamped and I went there, but then I was like, oh, I'm going to turn this on and I'm going to record a video. And then that went down a pleasure path of like, oh, some of these would be like really gorgeous photos. Ooh, I'm going to go have fun editing them and see how sexy can I make this tantrum. Right? So it's like, that's how you get yourself out of a funk and through, and also how you get into the energy that is going to have you focused on the people that are responding to you. And it might also give you the capacity to reach back out to those people who are ghosting and just be like, I'll do that sometimes. Like I'll message them and I'm like, hi, I'm probably so annoying since you didn't respond, but like I genuinely really just don't want you to like when I'll do that is often if like an early bird is ending and I'm like, I just genuinely don't want you to miss out on this window if you're interested in it. but I wouldn't be able to do that if I was worried about pissing them off. So
Thank you. That's so helpful.
you're welcome. That's a lot. Okay. All right. I mean, this is fun. So we didn't really do role play. But maybe what I do want to share. Okay, while you guys were writing, I did put together a worksheet. So I think I'll just share that. Although this was as good as role play, I feel like, because you've got some ideas on how to respond to some of the objections or situations that come up when we're selling. So here's the link. And what there is there's like, it's kind of like a little mini script. If you go to the second page, so it's like, again, 4 of the common things that you'll get. It's too expensive right now, and a juicy turned on response that you can give. Oh, people say I found something cheaper elsewhere. Your price doesn't match what I'd be getting. I can't afford the full commitment. So all ways that you can respond so that you don't shut down, and can keep the conversation flowing. Plus all the bonus ones we just got to go through today with our chat. So if there's any other questions, I mean, this is the stuff that I could talk about all day. This is what we go through in Kinky Business. There's an entire module around sacred selling. So we go deep into playing with this and many other things. So if you are someone who is focused on building or scaling your business, Kinky Business is still a few months away. It opens the end of July, but if you do want to jump in now, so I brag, one of the really juicy things that I'm super excited about for this round of Kinky Business is Champagne Chamber, which is the business mastermind where you just have brilliant business turned on. So women who want to sell from pleasure, all in one room, and it's hot seat coaching. So you're getting access to other brilliant minds. That is now going to be also within the Kinky Business container. So you're getting 2 programs. You're actually like getting like 4, because you get access to Erotic Temple and you get bi-weekly one-to-one coaching, not with me, but with another pleasure dom. So you're getting Kinky Business, which is like the curriculum container on how to build and scale a business. So we cover money mindset, building a funnel, which funnels to me is how to build a community to sell to, building a turn-on event, launching, sacred selling, and there's a 6th one, which I can't remember, but it's good. So all of this that we get to go through, and so you've got the curriculum call, you'll have the Champagne Chamber call, one-to-one support, and just the Erotic Temple, which is just a hot, sexy place to be every week. And if you sign up now, because Champagne Chamber is running now, you will get the extra 2.5 months, 2 months of access to that. So just sharing that in case you know that is something that you would like to be focused on. And because it's like early bird, there is also a really juicy price point to jump in. So I'll share more in the thread about that. And it would be so hot and juicy to get to take that journey. It's 6 months with some of you. And I'll just say it's like really, really fun to see what happens with women who go through that container. Like I had one woman last year who had no clients. She was so scared to like launch. And then she launched, and her one-to-one was full with a wait list as we started going through the program together. So wild and fun to see this unfolding. So reach out to if you have any questions. Thank you for bringing such awesome questions to just workshop with today. And for those in Sacred Seductress, I can't wait to get sexy with you babes tomorrow.
Hey, May.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Do you mind sending the audit? I didn't get to do
the
that
link.
last time. Yeah, would you mind sending the link again?
Perfect. Yeah, I'll drop
Okay.
it in the thread again too. Okay. All right, goddesses. Have an amazing evening. I love you all so much. Bye.